Hey everyone, thanks for joining my video. It's your girl, Trina here, Queen Trina, if you did not know, with another review of Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 11, Episode 2. Let's get into it. And this time I'm recording on my phone, so we ain't gonna have all that stuff that was going on with my webcam. Because apparently my computer's old, or my laptop's old, and it sucks. So hopefully this will be clearer and more engaging for you. So it opens up with the remnants of the fight between Trey, aka Teresa. When you hear the word Trey, I'm referring to Teresa, and Jackie. Jackie tries to explain to Margaret that she was making an analogy. Not in this group, child. And Margaret got it right when she said she was not to ever bring up children in this group. I was like, thank you, Margaret. Like, does she not know that? That's like Housewives 101. Clearly, she wanted to get a rise out of Teresa. That's what I have here in my notes. Jackie, you knew what you was doing by bringing up Gia. That's all I got to say about that. Margaret worries how her trip to Lake George will happen with all this drama, but now between Jackie and Teresa. So Teresa pulls up like, girl, I thought she was going to run over her driveway. She pulled that damn truck up. Clearly still hot about her convo with Jackie. She calls Melissa and vents to her about the convo. She tells Melissa that the Jackie line about Gia sniffing the lines of coke in the bathroom at college. And Melissa was acting all shocked and surprised, but says, I wasn't there to see how she said it. And of course, it always seems that Melissa and Teresa have these issues of one of their friends doing something and the other having a loyalty test. So I made a note of that. There always seems to be like a loyalty test with Melissa and Teresa. So just an interesting dynamic. Don't understand it, but I'm just like, I get it. Like, I'm from New York, you know. I grew up in a community where, you know, loyalty is important, but at the same time, I'm my own individual. Okay? But that's her sister-in-law, so I kind of feel like, unless she's like murdering someone or doing something crazy, just have Trey's back, I guess. But it's so hard because Trey makes it hard to have her back when she's always so freaking wrong. Anyway, next scene, Jennifer goes to visit her mom, whom she exiled away from her dad. Well, she exiled her dad away from her mom because her mom has anger issues, child, allegedly. Well, with the husband, allegedly. Jennifer corrects her mom on what she calls her son's baby. And then her mom starts crying about how her husband's away from her, Jennifer's father. And Jennifer tells her mom she has seen her mom treat her dad wrong, but her mom insists that it's Jen's father's fault. And it's an interesting scene to see that whole family dynamic between Jen and her mother. You can tell that there is definitely some family issues and tensions there. Jennifer says in her presence she's never seen her dad treat her mom wrong, and she just wants her mom to be happy, and they kiss and hug. And I thought that was a beautiful way to end that scene. Next, we see Black Dolores, aka Dolores, aka the People's Champ, at her mom's house with goodies. I really love their relationship. I made note of that. You can tell she really loves and takes care of her mom. Dolores shares that due to the pandemic, her mom has been in isolation, away from her grandchildren. But why Grandma says she misses massaging Frankie Jr.'s feet, I was like thinking to myself, like, damn, I wish I had a grandma who could massage my feet. Like, I know they like normally clean your laundry and they like buy you nice gifts. I never had a grandma. My grandma died before I was born. So we're not gonna even talk about my father's side. That's a whole other mess. But yeah, I was like, they massage your feet. I didn't know about that. Then Dolores shares her issues with David and how he's upset at her about her surgery she had. So Dolores feels no commitment, no say in my body choices. And I was like, you go girl. Thank you, D, with a capital D. Put some stank on it. Dolores shared that her own parents were married and lived in two different homes in Jersey, which I thought was an interesting scene that they sort of, Dolores talked about her own family history with her, between her mom and dad, and how they lived in separate homes. And it kind of like allowed us to understand how Dolores gets this unique relationship idea and concept from. And it works. Hey, what can we say? They've been married for so long, and Dolores was married. So what do I know? I'm just a single unmarried woman. Dolores ends the combo by saying David is many things, but he is not a cheater, and he's a workaholic. And in that case, I say keep working with him, Dolores. Slim pickings out here nowadays. Anyway. Next scene, Jennifer is picking out sneakers for Lake George. She got some blingy ones and they were kind of cute. I don't know for Lake George though. Then we see the other ladies packing for the trip. Trey is packing, and then we get Melissa on the phone with Jackie trying to understand what she said to her sister-in-law. Jackie states that it was an analogy. She keeps saying that, and that she didn't spread a rumor at the party like Teresa did, so there's a difference. Melissa explains no matter what, kids are off limits. Dolores is talking to Frank, and Frank states that it all comes down to a commitment. I actually really love this scene between them. It showed Frank's loyalty to Dolores. It was definitely a pure and genuine moment, and he wants her to be happy. And I must admit, I used to think at the beginning that they had something going on. I was like, she was like, no, we're just friends. And it was like, I think you're more than friends. So now a few years in, I'm like, no, he's just really happy for her. He wants her to be happy. They had what they had, and not to say I don't think if things don't work out with David and she would just be like, all right, Frank, let's just give it the old college try. Not to say I don't think he would take her up on it, but I really feel there's a genuine love there. Unlike with some exes where it turns into like all kinds of weirdness and bitterness. No, it's all love. And I love seeing that. And I made a note of that it's just awesome to see that between them. He wants the best for her, and it's super awesome. Next, we see Margaret house. Everyone showing up with their bags and shit. Margaret says they're still decorating, remodeling. Oh my God, I just want it to be done already. I'm just like, please, can they hurry up with this decorating of Marge's house? It's like turning into Kenya Moore Manor with all these decoratings and fixes and renovations. Melissa in her confessional is clearly not bothered or very bothered with Jennifer. She ignored her when Jennifer entered the room, and Jennifer had a cute line in her confessional about, well, Melissa, if I was a mirror, maybe you would greet me. That shit was hilarious. Good one, Jen. Next, we see Marge's assistant, Lex, that she's joining the trip, which is new for this group, I think. Or did she go somewhere last season? Comment down in the comments if Lex came somewhere. I feel like Lex came somewhere last season. Anyway, we find out Jackie has decided not to come. And of course, all the ladies are there and on time. At least that's what the camera made it look like appeared. Except for Teresa. Just like Evan's birthday party. So Trey is the last one, as usual, to arrive. Trey, just for once, can you just be the first to arrive? That's all I got to say. Trey arrives and finds out Jackie is not coming and starts her mess. Oh, anyway, the ladies are on the bus, and Marge explains she likes Lake George because her and her ex-husband would go there with their kids years ago. Shocker, the topic of Jackie and Teresa's fight comes up, and Teresa says she has nothing to apologize for, and Trey admits she thinks Evan is good looking. Trey was carrying on that bus. That's all I got to say. And I know that scene is going to come up during the reunion. Trey, you tried it. Black Dolores speaks up and says she would want to know that rumor, though. The one that she told that she was spreading about Jackie. I was like, oh, look at Dolores not having Teresa's battery for once. Then Trey starts talking out her ass, saying she needs to give Evan, saying that Jackie needs to give Evan blowjobs, and she would have rode Jackie all weekend. I'm like, you would have rode her? Like, just very demonstrative on this bus trip. I was just like, you said a lot of things, and I'm curious to see what Jackie has to say during the reunion. That's all I got to say. Anyway, Trey sounded stupid, but that's nothing new lately with Trey. Trey talks how she would have ate Jackie alive and that she would have swept off the floor. Yeah. It was just a whole bunch of demonstrative stuff that just sounded stupid. Anyway, next we see Frankie and David at the shooting range. Oh my God, I want to say I think that was an awesome activity for those two. We learned David failed out of sniper school. Look at David, a sharpshooter and a skilled surgeon, man of many talents. I was impressed. We see Frank not having a good shooting day, and Frank explains in his confessional that he had an injury that affected his shooting. And then we learn an interesting fact. We learned that during his recovery time from this injury, he moved in with David. I was like, I can't with this story. It just gets even more just complicated. He moved in with David. David took care of him. Again, another side of Frank and David we see, and it's endearing to see how close they are despite, the relationship history that they share the same woman or have shared the same woman. The two go sit down to talk and drink water, and David tells Frank he is lucky he didn't break a leg falling down those steps, and the two joke about David helping wash Frank up. The two start talking about Dolores, and Frank shares that he'd heard that David was mad at Dolores for her surgery. Frank says they both need to open up to each other more, and the starting point is his unwillingness to solidify the deal with marriage. I thought that was badass. I was like, okay, there was a cute little scene, and then Frank was like, let's get to the point. And I'm gonna call you out, but in a loving way. He kind of like called him out, but in a joking, loving way. And I was like, Frank needs to teach a class on that. Like, some people don't know how to do that. Maybe he could teach Teresa that. But there's a way to sort of call people out without like, It was in a nice, loving way. So I really like that, Frank. That was really nice. Frank says they both need to open up. Okay, his unwillingness to do the marriage. He even calls David a great doctor and a mediocre boyfriend. That was a classic line, Frank. Frank states he wants both of them happy, and it was awesome to see the scene between those two men who have or still love the same woman, and it's a rare thing and it's refreshing. So I made note of that. Next, we see the ladies pulling up to the lake house, and the ladies are picking the best rooms. Well, Melissa, according to Jennifer, was picking the best room because, you know, only the best from her. And I was thinking in this moment when Jennifer made a little smart comment, like, Jen, you like nice stuff too. Stop begrudging Melissa, you know, especially when you're the queen of Miss Extravagant. So her critiques are coming along a little misguided to me. They seem like two peas of the pod. So cut it out. Knock it off, Jen. Meh. But then we see Marge tell the ladies she should have brought the gummies. I caught that little line. Did y'all catch that? Comment down in the comments. Oh, and if y'all didn't, like, share, and subscribe as well. But comment down in the comments if you caught that line by Marge. I was like, what kind of gummies are you talking about? What kind of gummies do we bequeath? So I heard you, Marge. Let me find out. You don't have a drink. Maybe you got a little something else that you'll be doing. Yeah, because you know Marge doesn't drink. Blah, 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 blah. The ladies start eating food that was catered, and it looked really good. That food looked really good. I was like, and then of course, to ruin my appetite, right? Because what would it be if they didn't ruin my appetite? The convo turns to Jackie and Teresa again. Trey denies plausibility and refuses to see how she was wrong for what she did. And she gives this bogus, so bad enough she talked about Evan being cute on the bus and how she would have rode Jackie till the wheels fall off and all this other crap. But now at Lake George, she's talking about this false equivalent. And she starts blaming everyone else, from the tequila to Jackie to Melissa. It was just a mess. And a part of it seemed humorous, but a part of it really didn't. And it would have been more funny if it wasn't so serious. And I think Trey was a little bit serious in this moment. Everybody just laughed it off at that point, though. Next, we see the ladies bringing their bags up the steps. Child, I'm like, wow, we get to see them lift something for once in their life. That was interesting. Next, we see Jackie at home with the kids. You know, she's the one that didn't go on the trip. Next, she's opening up her salon, her mommy salon. Jackie explains during quarantine that she started learning how to cut her kids' hair, which I thought was very cool. And it was a good thing to see how the pandemic affected different people. And one of the things that I loved was that it showed that you can learn a skill during the pandemic. I did my own hair, not this shit, but I did my own braids and stuff where I normally would go to like an African braider. I went and did my own braids, child. I never box braided my whole hair. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do it. And that's what I did. So I was like, kudos to you, Jen. So she's cutting her kids' hair. Which is awesome because it can save you money or perhaps lead to an income, right? Catch, you caught that. So that's how you want to make this pandemic work for you. Jackie says she's trying to put on a happy face, but amidst there's tension with her and Evan, which I thought was really crazy and messed up. However, she said Evan is angry, and I'm like, damn, why he's still angry if it's not true though? So that part I was like, what's that about? I mean, I get him being upset due to the accusations themselves that hurt your character, but not to the point where you're mad at your wife. Jackie didn't do nothing wrong, Evan. So I was kind of confused with the tension. Jackie explains to the kids that she's not going away because she's not happy with a friend and has to teach her friends how to treat her, which is an important lesson to her kids. So I thought that was a nice, very, very good scene by Jackie. Next, we're back at Lake George. The ladies are getting ready for dinner. Melissa's hogging the bathroom, of course, right? According to Jennifer, and with good reason, because she came out with that denim dress, honey. Yes, Melissa, I was here for that denim dress. She joins Marge and tells her nice job on the boobs, and Marge was showing them off. Again, the topic goes back to Trey and Jackie. We get a flashback of Trey and Melissa's explaining that logic never works with Teresa, and directing her never works, which was very true. I'm like, if you got to know anything about this group, you got to know that, especially about Teresa. Next, the ladies are getting ready again for dinner in Lake George and start taking shots. And Teresa starts talking about which man she wants and how many times a day she wants to have sex and how many ways she wants to have sex and which way she clearly needs a pounding. Like, damn, girl, somebody pound her already. Oh, woof, woof. Next, the ladies are at the chateau on the lake. And yes, it was very, very summertime chic. I was here for that chateau, honey. Oh, Dolores, yes, people's favorite. You look good in your denim dress too. And I was looking at it like, do I like your dress or do I like Melissa's better? And I probably would have to say I like Dolores. Even though they weren't the same denim dress, if I just had to pick because of the fabric, I would say it's Dolores for me. While at the table, all the ladies get a text from Jackie saying she hopes they're enjoying themselves, and Teresa, in a rare sign of remorse, breaking news, says she hopes Jackie didn't take what she said personal. She didn't mean to hurt her. But I kept thinking during this part, Trey, you so funny because you said it so fast nobody could even hear it, and then you said it when Jackie wasn't around. Typical Teresa mess. Trey says she even called Gia. Oh, now we find out why. She called Gia and she told her that she was wrong. She called out her mother about the rumor, and I just love Gia for that. Despite Jackie saying that hypothetical mess about sniffing coke about Gia still called out her mom Trey about her BS. Gotta love Gia for that. Respect, Gia. Respect. Big respect. Marge starts talking about helping Trey getting laid. She shares that Juicy Joe, is a seller of sex toys. Oh my, and he sent her a sample. You can use it inside and outside. Then Teresa starts asking Melissa if her brother makes her come, which Teresa has a weird habit of either being really awkward and direct with Melissa or being really cold and standoffish. It's like there's no balance with her. Either too crazy on the spectrum with Melissa or you're just not a good sister-in-law. Like I just don't get it sometimes. Melissa's weirded out by that. Then Dolores shares David knows his way around a vagina. I was like, yes, God, I know that is right. Dolores shares her David issues and calls him a vagina. So not only does he know his way around a vagina, because she said that on the bus. They gave us a little back scene with that, the clip they didn't show before. But then they go back to the table and she's like, but he was acting like a vagina. I'm like, well, damn. He's good with a vagina. That's why he's so good with it, because he act like one. Which one is it, girl? Anyway, she's talking about him being upset at her. And then Marge points out that Jen and Melissa are getting along this evening. I love when Marge just gives her analysis on things. She just notices things. And I think because she's not drunk like everybody else, so she tends to be the person that keeps stuff moving along during the scenes. And I love that in Marge. Marge, keep doing that. I like that about you. So she points out the good stuff. So she said they're getting along. Her, Melissa, and Jen are getting along. And Melissa, in true Melissa form, she's such an Aries, asks Jen if she's being self-absorbed this evening. And I was like, girl, you're trying it. That was a cute one, though. So they went back to the reunion. They showed old clips and showed when they both took digs at each other. And they said they will move on. Then Trey goes back to saying she's glad Jackie didn't come on the trip and that she did nothing wrong. And I'm thinking, what the hell, Trey? Marge summed it up too in her confessional, like, how you take 2 steps forward and go 1 step back? Or maybe she took 1 step forward and then 2 steps back. But Marge confessional was on point, comparing Teresa's brain to a machine that takes input in, recycles it, regurgitates it, and then comes out with a different answer each time. Just freaking hilarious, Marge. Whew, that was the end of that episode. But next episode, we will see Teresa calling Joe, not Juicy, telling him that Melissa gave her number to some owner of some restaurant and that they've been texting all day. Child, it's about to hit the fan. Messy, messy, messy. But damn, Teresa, really? The guys clearly get together and discuss this drama with Melissa. So this is going to clearly be a storyline that's going to take over the next few episodes and maybe this season. So I'm here for it, and I'm so excited to see where this drama goes. I simply love the show. It always brings the drama. That's my review on the recap of Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 11, episode 3. That's all I got for you. Take care. Oh no, episode 2, 3. I think it's 3. Why I got 2 here? Y'all know what episode it is. Bye.